Good afternoon and welcome. Today is Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. It is now 4:37 p.m. and I'm calling to order the consent session for the School Board of Volusia County. In just a moment, we're going to stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance and observe a moment of silence and reflection, which is what we do every day in our schools. So at this time, I'm asking that you stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. I'd like to introduce those that are here with me today. On my far left, I have Ms. Donna Brosmer representing District 4, Mrs. Krista Goodrich representing District 2, Dr. Gilbert Evans, our school board attorney. Over on my far right, I have Ms. Celeste Gilmore, our agency clerk, then Ms. Jessie Thompson representing District 3, then Mr. Ruben Colon, our vice chair representing District 5, our wonderful superintendent, Dr. Carmen Balgobin, and I am Jamie Haynes, representing your chair and representing District 1. The first item today is the approval of our minutes, item 1.02. Board members, you've had an opportunity to look at the minutes from the regular school board meeting from September 9th, 2025. Do I have someone that would like to make a motion to approve the presented minutes?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Colon. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes from the regular session on September 9th, 2025, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Now we're going on to item 2.01. Dr. Balgobin, are there any agenda changes before the agenda is presented to the board for approval?
Madam Chair, I have no changes.
Thank you. So board members, you've heard that there are no changes to the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, Krista made the motion, and I got Ms. Brosmer for the second. You were a little slow on that one, that's all.
I'm working on it.
You got the
Working
first.
on it.
He's getting a little tired.
I know, he needs to be at home. So is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of approving the agenda as it's been presented for this evening's consent session, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes unanimously. We are now moving on to item 3.01. This is the time for public comment concerning any items that are going to be on the consent agenda. We have one card. So Miss Elizabeth Albert, welcome, and please come forward. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Balgobin, members of the audience. I would like to speak to you this evening about item 9.04. This is the item that is requesting $5,470,000 to A+ tutoring, in part for compensatory education. I'm deeply concerned about this item and its cost, and I found it interesting when I was reviewing the documents that this company is owned by 2 former Volusia County Schools employees. I mentioned before that this is in part for compensatory education, which is related to ESE services. So my concern here is that instead of paying competitive salaries that would keep our teachers and staff in Volusia County schools, the district is now spending millions of dollars to a private tutoring company to provide the services that could have and should have been provided by Volusia County Schools employees. But because of vacancy rates, we know that sometimes those minutes are not fulfilled. As of today, when I was sitting in the audience listening to the conversation earlier, there are 128 instructional vacancies listed on the website, and a significant of those are in the area of exceptional student education. And I really hope that there is no comment about, well, there's only X number of classroom vacancies within the 128. I want to remind you that every instructional person in this district participates to the advancement of student academic learning. It's hand in glove. So when we have gaps in our ESE department at the district level, that means that there's not support going into a classroom where the students benefit from that support. And I want to remind you that every dollar that is spent on a contractor is a dollar that is not going into the pockets of the employees. It's time to prioritize the workers by offering competitive salaries and stop the loss of Volusia County Schools employees going to other districts. You have an opportunity in front of you right now that you can take advantage of prioritizing the needs of those who are doing the work. And I certainly hope that that is the decision that is made by this board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other cards? Okay. Then at this time, we're moving on to item 4.01 on the agenda. Item 4.01 is an opportunity for any removal of items from the consent agenda for discussion or to be standalone items to be voted on. So do I have any, Ms. Brosmer?
Actually, I have some questions about both 9.03 and 9.04.
Okay, 9.03 and 9.04.
Questions only.
Questions only, okay. Any other board, Mr. Cologne?
Yes, so, Madam Chair, item 9.07 is a contract with Flagler Hospital, and so I have sought out counsel from our attorney, and I will be recusing myself for item 9.07, given that that is in the industry in which I work and may lead to any perception. And so if we could vote on that one separately so that I can recuse myself, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Goodrich,
Just comment for item 6.01.
which one?
6.01.
6.01. Any other items? Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to start with item 6.01. We're going to go in order. So Ms. Goodrich?
So I just want to comment and let anyone listening know, we hear so often about financial literacy being overlooked in schools and our kids not having the tools they need for personal finance, which regardless what field they go into, this is going to be extremely important in their life if they're going to not struggle for money. And so this program is a phenomenal program that the Volusia County is putting into place, starting in our elementary schools and carrying on throughout, so that Volusia County's kids can leave our schools prepared for a world where finance will always be a part of their life. So I'm really, really proud to see this on there.
Thank you. We're going to now then move to item 9.03. Mrs. Brosmer?
Okay. I'm assuming that I need to ask these questions of Mrs. Copeland?
What is the question? I'll make sure if it's, I'm pretty sure it will have to be in her department. But go ahead, you can ask the question, Ms. Ross.
Of you?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm trying to understand how some of these contracts work because we seem to do modifications to them and it's always not to exceed. But this one is the second modification just since October 22nd, or unless I'm misreading this. So I was just trying to figure out what the time period is for the effectiveness.
Ms. Copeland, is it for this year?
for this school year.
So is it the 150 that is for this school year or the 432.5?
160.
Or 160, sorry, I wrote that wrong. Okay, I think that's probably my only question on that one. And on the compensatory education, it's my understanding that that is to make up for services that we were obligated to provide and did not,
You
for
are
whatever
correct.
reason. So is there an enforcement order? Why are we doing this? What are we complying with in order to spend this
So for our
money?
ESE students, it could be because they could not be in school. And usually it's that. Sometimes it's related, most of the time it's related to their disability. So if they're not in school, we have to ensure that we're making up that time for students. And that's where these educational provider, I think this one in particular, comes into play.
Okay. I think that was my only question. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to note that in 903, when you open up, so it does say 160,000, and that is adding on to the multi-year piece.
Mhm.
But in one of the documents, I just want to make sure that you realize one of the documents actually says 150,000.
That's what I wrote.
Okay, here's where the confusion is. It says 150 we did for last year to the multi-year. So that's why it looks, so on one document, it's last year's page when we voted on it last year, and it was 150 being added. But this year, the second attachment and the main writing has 160,000 on it. And then my piece on, I wanted to add something to 904. 904 used to be owned, I don't know who owns it right now, because it used to be owned by Muffy, yes, Shantruff. Because we have been using that company even back when we had to do No Child Left Behind tutoring. She was one of the companies that we did No Child Left Behind. So my question there is more than one company that we are receiving services from, but this year's portion is 170,000. Right, for ESE only. But there's a amount, because that's one of the companies, if I'm correct, that our private school providers use. And so that's why it looks like that large amount, because we have the money going to them because they qualify for the money under the federal programs and grants. And I only know that because that used to be my position, and you have to ask all the private providers that want to be included in that money. So because when you hear 5 million, and it's as if we're spending 5 million to provide those services for our kids in the public school, but we're actually only spending $170,000 this year for our ESE students, because a large portion of that money is going to the private schools. But when federal programs says, we are the feeder that feeds that money out to the private schools.
Okay.
Ms. Brosmer?
I think that might answer the question that I had, because I'm looking at, on 9.03, this 432.5, and this year is 160, and then the 5.47 on 9.04, and the 170,000. I was trying to figure out where those larger numbers fit in relation to those, to what we're saying for this year. So what you're saying is that there's a term for it, and I'm drawing a blank on what it is, but we are the fiscal agent for that contract, is that correct? Okay, so that helps to explain the larger numbers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and, yes, because in Title I, you have to set aside a proportionate amount of the students that you have to serve in charter private school for those services, and then they select their services, and then the contract has to be written encompassing all of it for each year. Okay, so,
I-
yes, Mr. Cologne?
Madam Superintendent, Jamie, I so appreciate what you just said. Can we have someone give us that breakdown? Because, over the weekend, I've had several folks reach out to me and say, we're spending $5 million because you guys didn't do your job on ESE and so on and so
Ms.
forth.
Copeland and
But it's
someone from budget.
$160,000 and 170 is that piece of it.
Yeah.
That's different. And so let's get this rhetoric straightened out. And I'm not one to address a lot of rhetoric, but this one is because my phone's been blowing up all weekend. We're spending $5 million. Could you know how many teachers we could have hired with $5 million? But that's fake news. And I said it myself. So can you explain to us how much is ESE? How much is the private schools? How much is all? I mean, what are we talking about here?
It will take me some time to get you that. What I want to first clarify is the 5.4 million is since this contract was initiated in 2022. So we would have to look at all of the modifications that have been done since the
So
initial.
$5 million is since 2022.
Correct.
Because it's a multi-year contract.
Okay.
Yep. So that's why we always give you that not to exceed amount, so you know from the inception of the contract forward, this is what has been spent.
Beautiful. And so could you break it down as to where these are going? And if you don't have the answer, I'd be curious to see how many of those were scenarios where the student wasn't able to attend school. We were still required to provide those services. If you don't know that, that's fine.
Ms. Copeland says she can
Yes,
give you a
so-
general overview.
So general overview of compensatory education services is we are required to provide the services when a student misses, whether it's absent, teacher vacancy, if we have a state complaint, and the state finds us that we have to provide these compensatory services. Sometimes when we get a report of inquiry from a state complaint, there are X number of hours that we must provide. So we use A+ tutoring to provide those services if the school cannot do it with the teaching staff that they have. And so I will share with you, I will get those numbers for you of what we have been spending with A+ tutoring specifically for compensatory education services since the inception for ESE students.
So for this year, you're saying it's $170,000 is what we're budgeting, not to exceed,
Correct.
meaning we are not paying that money. It's as the services are rendered, we are, and so that's what we're putting in the pot for that. And so the rest of it is likely, do we have to administer for Step Up and all those folks too? So the folks who have the scholarships that take tutoring, are we the agent for that too?
Not for this. Not for compensatory education.
No, I'm
services.
saying for A+.
No, this is only for private schools.
It's all private schools. Golly, do we charge a fee for that management?
So there's a law that says when we receive like the Title I Part A budget, there is a certain percentage that has to be appropriated for private schools.
Right.
And then private schools get to choose out of like a thing, what services they want. And that money that is appropriated towards them, it's a formula and we have no say over, like we can't just say, we want to just give this private school $300,000. There's an entire formula you have to follow. And then each year, private schools have to say, we want to continue. And A+ Tutoring has been doing the private schools for many years, and they have been happy with the services that they have received from them. I thought this started in '23, so I'm glad to hear it started in '22, but it is something that by law we're required to do.
Perfect, thank you.
Do you know how many private schools we have? It's a large amount.
It's over 50.
Yeah, private schools.
And how much do we get paid to administer this?
By the kindness of our heart.
Are you,
Well,
Okay,
and we're doing all this work and administering the money.
Have indirect costs.
Is there a fee? Like, do we charge?
yes,
We
But
do.
there is
okay,
an
but there's a
overhead.
formula on that, and it falls under indirect cost.
Yeah.
Like, we can't choose the amount that we will charge.
But we
and it
have
is-
something.
It's minimal.
Okay,
It's
It's
very
very
little,
minimal.
very little.
I'll need to call your friends.
No, I mean, it's been the law forever. We used, okay, several years ago, we used to have to tutor with outside agencies under No Child Left Behind, and we'd have 50 tutoring, like could be a lawn company one day and they turned into a tutoring company the next day. And we need to thank Tampa and Hillsborough County for getting that mess stopped. We were handing out money left and right to anybody that came up to be a tutoring company.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So,
I'll also clarify the 5.4 is with multiple companies. So
Yes.
we did a solicitation, an RFP, to award to multiple companies. Another big one is Believed to Achieve. So that dollar amount is encompassing of multiple vendors.
because sometimes one company can't service all the private schools based on where the private schools are and the time they need the services. And we do have some of our teachers, believe it or not, that actually go to work for these companies after school and get paid for providing the tutoring. Yes, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Does that mean that each of those companies can come back to us with a contract amendment like this one?
We typically initiate the amendment. The only time they would come to us is if they are requesting a price increase, which they do have to provide substantial documentation for us to accept that.
Okay, then I'll rephrase the question. Are we likely to ask for a contract amendment to any additional companies like this? And I'm only asking because you said there are multiple ones.
We recently did one, so I would think not, but unless you have extra funding coming your way this
No,
year.
we're
then-
trying to decrease the amount we're spending on compensatory education
Okay.
services.
Thank you.
If I'm reading the document correct, when we approved this originally, well, last year when we approved it, didn't we have 5 companies that are providing? Or are those only the ones you went out for RFP at that time?
I know there's at least 3 that we're utilizing, but more may have been awarded and we're just not utilizing them at this time.
Any other questions? I think when you have the time, I think we'd all appreciate just an email with a breakdown so that you can see how much is being spent each year and how much of it is being spent by the private schools versus how much is being spent by ESE. Because, some of our ESE children are fragile, and if they go into the hospital or things like that, we have to also provide those services for them during the time that they're in there. Okay, then, if there's no other questions, thank you very much, the 3 of you. So then what I need to do is we need to vote to pull out item 9.07 from the agenda, from the consent agenda so that we can vote on it separately so that Mr. Colone's voting on everything but that item. So at this time, is there any,
Can we just pull that?
it says I need to have approval of the consent agenda. Oh, okay, that's just for the items. All right, so I can pull it without,
Bullet.
all right, we're pulling item 9.07. And so at this time, I need someone to make a motion that we will approve the proposed changes to the agenda, removing 9.07, along with we will be voting to approve the rest of the consent agenda.
Motion to approve consent agenda minus 9.07.
Thank you, Mr. Cologne. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Goodrich. If there's no further discussion, we'll vote on all items other than 9.07. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented minus 9.07, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. We are now going to vote on just item 9.07, which is a new contract with Flagler Hospital. Mr. Cologne will not be participating in the vote. So, do I have someone that'd like to make a motion to approve item 9.07?
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Brosmer. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. Any discussion on that item? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of approving 9.07, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that is a 4 vote with 1 recused. Now we are moving on to item 12.01. Dr. Balgobin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to ask Mr. Ryan McConkey to come forward. I'd like to share with you, and I know we're putting up a screen here with Mr. McConkey's qualifications, but I will read them to you as well. He's obtained his master's degree from Warner University, Lake Wales, Florida. Obtained his master's degree from Southeastern University, Lakeland, Florida. Master's degree also from the University of Tampa, Tampa, Florida. Holds certification in the following area: Ed Leadership, English 6 through 12. He was an adjunct professor of English at Daytona State College. He's been with Volusia County Schools since 2015. Started as a teacher at DeLand High School, then became a teacher on assignment at Sweetwater Elementary, served as an administrative dean at Seabreeze High. And with your approval here, I would like to recommend Mr. Ryan McConkey as the new assistant principal at Enterprise Elementary.
We've actually already voted
We voted.
because they put it in the consent.
That's right. Well, yeah,
But
technically.
Aye.
Technically.
okay, I think it should be voted on separately. I should have pulled it. Congratulations. We have already approved you and welcome.
They told me I had a minute, so I'm going to hit that right on the head. Thank you to the board, Dr. Balgobin, Dr. Valle, Ms. Castellanos, Ms. Zervanak, and Principal Johnson for your votes of confidence. I also want to thank Dr. Drayton, Dr. Castelli, and Mr. Reeser for the feedback they gave me over the summer to help me move forward. I want to thank my wife Tiffany for her unwavering support, my girls Taylin and Taryn, and my son Dylan for helping to push me forward. Some very special shout outs to the team at Seabreeze High School. Tiki Pikett, Mr. Don Presley, Stina Mae Lagrada, Adrian Bronson, Patty Comatel Doms, Valerie Peckham, Officer Lee, and Coach Campanella. And then some extra special shout outs to Miss Jody Lewitt for taking me under her wing and challenging me to keep growing and improving, and Mr. Tucker Harris for always giving it to me straight and challenging me to ask myself what I can do to become better. Good leaders lead, but great leaders create more leaders, and I'm proud to count myself as part of your leadership tree. To everyone at Enterprise Elementary, I look forward to working with you all and promise that I will do my absolute best each and every day to serve you and our students. Thank you.
So at this time, if you wish to exit with Ms. Danielle Johnson and your family and whoever is here with you, they're going to go ahead and take your photo. Listen,
Madam Chair, I'd ask that if I can ask for an exception, that we just take a picture. There's only one. There's only one. Forget it. He's out, he's gone. It's just-
I agree with you, but I'm following the directions. All right, so, Dr. Balgobin,
I am going to follow directions. I'm going to follow directions. It's fine.
I know, but you had something you wanted to say, but okay. All right, so at this time, it is 5.
I know.
Please just say what happened with Amazon today, because everybody needs to hear it.
So actually, we're very, very proud of this new partnership with Amazon. They have a new distribution center that's opening up in Daytona. We were there this morning. We had a lot of friends there from our community, elected officials, partners, and so forth. But the most beautiful thing is that this is going to be a long-term friendship. They have donated to us so far for a robotics program $20,000. So we received a check today. And they're very excited to get involved with our school system. So I want to thank Future Foundations and everybody that was here that made it possible. But we're excited about this new partnership. Very good. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, then, since this is our new type of meeting, it is now 5:07 PM and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
I'm so happy.
I